Okay, I'm going to be doing a three-part video showing how to make and take amp glow mask from darks. And first we're going to take our dark frames. We will be using Milo-Slick for this. So when you first start off, you want to make sure all your camera settings are put in. I'm going to use Gamma 45. You can use Gamma 1. Experiment and see which is best. And I'm going to start off, I've made some other masks using different AGC levels. This is the Exterminator I'm using, and I'm going to make some with AGC 4. So you want to make sure your cooler is on, full running. That's important, you know, just to keep the pixels, hot and warm pixels down, especially the warm ones, because later on I'll show you you're going to be cloning them out, and you don't want too many. You want to get it down to least as possible. Under the video settings, you should put your contrast at maximum 100%, and then your brightness will vary. Leave everything else set to default. Under the frame stacking, I normally like to select medium frames. This is what I use when I broadcast, so I'm going to select this when I'm making the darks. And have your histogram selected. And I use digital smoothing. I like it up to about 60 to 75%. I don't like to go too much more than 75 or the image gets soft. So anyways, make sure all your settings are done. And when you take your mask, you want the peak of the histogram to fall around the word levels, right around here, which is roughly about a quarter to a third from the left of the histogram. So we're going to start off first with a 20-second, and then I'm going to stack them. Okay, so we're going to hit the exposure, and I'm going to start at 20-second. And I've already done this, and I know it's correct. So what we want to do is use 3 frames, rolling average, hit enable, and it's going to stack 3. Once we stack the 3, we are going to save this using a snapshot. So while we're waiting, we go into preferences under photos, capture or save as a TIFF, and use unscaled video capture resolution, and choose where you want this folder to go. So I'm going to choose here, and I'm going to select Exterminator, and I'm just going to put it under this one for now, and hit OK. So right now it's telling you have 2 of 3. So after this one, what we're going to do now is we're going to take the snapshot, and I think I'm going to just click on here. Okay, no. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to title it and just name it whatever you want. I'm going to call this 20-second amp glow mask, and it's kind of dark in here to type. I'm out in the observatory. And make sure that you put your AGC that you're going to be using. In this case it's 4, AGC 4, and save it as a TIFF, and that was a 20-second. And we have a save. Okay, so we're going to stop this. We're going to hit enabled, so we disable it, and we're going to go to 30 seconds. Now notice your histogram, which is not too bad there. So we'll go to 30 seconds, and then I'm going to hit I'll verify it first in histogram. It should be pretty well similar because they are darks. Scope's covered. Okay, yep. So I'm going to just hit enable for stacking, and we're going to stack 3 of these at 30 seconds. And then I'm going to try probably 45 seconds next, and then do a 60-second, and that should be sufficient for the the exterminator. The purpose of doing these darks is to create amp glow mask to remove the amp glow in the left and the upper middle right area. Also to subtract these thin fine horizontal lines and vertical lines. These lines are caused by the coatings that Sony use on their new sensors. They're microscopic, you can't see them, but because they're being magnified, they do show up, so we will subtract them. Okay, so we're coming up to the complete stack of 3. The reason why you want to use 3 rather than 1 is you want to average out the noise, so you smoothen out. You don't want to add noise to your image, so you want to smoothen out the background. And I'm going to hit snap, and drop down, and I'm just going to click on this so I don't have to do it again, and I'm going to change that to 3 for 30 seconds. Save that, and we're going to leave the stack on, and we're going to take that to 45 because the histogram should be pretty well similar, and the only thing is, by leaving the stack on this time, you have 3 of 3, so you have to watch, pay attention to your stacks as they go by, as the refreshes go by. So this will be a 45 second, and you can see your histograms falling where you want it. So we have 1, still says 3 of 3 because we kept the stack going, but you're going to see it getting brighter and a little bit brighter over the next 2 refresh. Okay. The hot and all these warm pixels later on will be cloned out, and I'll show you that in part 2 of the video, how to apply this. So this is the second one coming up, so it did get slightly brighter, but it didn't really move too much on the histogram. So after this one, we will do 3 sets of 60 seconds, and that will do it. So for this camera, I've taken already some darks, created masks for AGC off, AGC now at 4, and I've already done AGC 8. Once you have your darks and create your amp glow mask, you will not have to do them again unless you buy a new camera. Okay, so we're going to snap that. And I'm going to change that to 45 seconds, TIFF again, and we're going to change this to 60. It's very easy to do, to take your darks using Milo Slick. It's very convenient. The nice thing I like about this is you can just add the time and go on. Now, for people who don't want to watch this, what you would have to do is just go into your stacking, unselect, disable, and then hit your exposure and then select it. So we'll go to the histogram. You're going to see this getting a bit brighter. and it pretty well falls on the same area. But now you can see it extending lower, and this is where you want it to subtract the artifacts that are going down lower. Even on the left side, they go down to here. So that's one. So we got two more, and then we'll be done. I think Yahoo keeps, not Yahoo, YouTube keeps their videos at 15 minutes maximum. So we're just over, close to 11 minutes, so we'll be close. Okay, this is number 2 coming up. Again, you'll see it getting brighter slightly, but the histogram doesn't change. You don't have to worry too much. You just don't want the histogram way over here, but if it slides a little bit back, it doesn't really matter, because I'll be using levels later to show you all when we make the Amplo mask in the video part 2. We'll be using levels to lower the black point anyways. I don't want to do it here with the histogram. I would rather do it's more accurate first in Photoshop or Elements or PaintShop Pro, to use the levels there after you have converted this to grayscale and cloned out all the pixels. Okay, so here's the final one coming up, and we're at 12 minutes, so we're not too bad. Okay, so we're going to change this to TIFF, and we're going to select and change this to 60 seconds. And save it. There we go, and then now we can just connect this and stop this and park your camera. Oh, again, parking, you can always make sure that it says parked here, and it will be grayed out. Sometimes it doesn't get grayed out and it still says connected, so make sure it's grayed out where it says Park Melicam. And that concludes this video, and I will be doing another video, part 2, on how to put these darks together to process them for Amplo mask. Thank you.